see girls and boys selling lanterns on the street. I remember the child in a manger as he sleeps. Wherever there are people giving gifts, exchanging cards, I believe that Christmas is truly in their hearts.
And so that's how Christmas in Our Hearts was born. Christmas in Our Hearts had a very interesting beginning. Let's go back to 1988. A good friend of mine, Chari Cruz Zarate, she phoned me and asked if I would be willing to set to music a poem that she wrote. The poem she wrote was entitled Ang Tubig Ay Buhay. In 2 days, I was able to set that poem to music. And that music is da ra ra da ra ra da ra ra da ra ra. Then 1990, 2 years later, my record producer, Beliatan, suggested that I came out with a Christmas album. And of course, the first thing I did was to assemble some Christmas songs that I grew up with as a child. Little Christmas tree.
No one to buy you, give yourself to me.
But of course, she needed an original Christmas song. And so I racked my brain. I have to compose a Christmas song. And like a suggestion from above, I remember that melody, Ang Tubig Ay Buhay.
La 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 la.
Hey, I said, it could sound like a Christmas song. The melody started in the minor mode. Very Filipino. And then it went to major mode. Wow, perfect. So I remember praying to the Holy Spirit, asking for guidance, asking for inspiration to write Christmas words to that melody. And this is what happened. It was a Sunday morning, and we were coming out of church from Sunday Mass, when all of a sudden, after we boarded the car, there was a young lady that ran after me and introduced herself. She gave me her card. She introduced herself as Rina Canyiza.
My mom and I, we heard Mass at Forbes Park Church. And as I was hearing Mass, I saw Joe Marie there. He was present. And I whispered to my mom and I said, I want to write with him. He doesn't know me at all. I haven't made any name in songwriting, but I want to write with him. So my mom said, sige, after the Mass, you approach him. And I had a little calling card ready with in my bag.
She gave me a card and she said, Mr. Chan, it is my hope and dream that one day you and I could collaborate on a song. We could write a love song together. So I phoned her and I invited her to come to the house and I sang the melody to her. And I said, could you help me write Christmas lyrics to this?
Here's the study melody for a Christmas song in English.
And so that's how Christmas in Our Hearts was born. We wrote it together and then we were waiting for the last verse. I remember that day, I was being driven by my driver to Pampanga. And on the way, the lyrics came to me. Let love like that starlight on that first Christmas morn
Lead us back to the manger where Christ the child was born.
So come, let us rejoice. Come and sing a Christmas carol. With one big joyful voice, proclaim the name of the Lord. Wow, I said, good. This completes the song. Let love, like that starlight on that first Christmas morn, lead us back to the manger. Remember, it was that star of Bethlehem that led the three kings to the manger. And so in 1990, the song Christmas in Our Hearts was born. And that led to the record becoming a double diamond seller. When it came to a singer who would sing the song with me, My first choice was Lea Salonga. Number one, because at that time she was the darling of the country because she landed a role in Miss Saigon at the West End in London. So she was the idol. She was like the Heidelin of that time. I remember calling her and asked if she could sing that song with me. And she agreed. Unfortunately, her recording label would not allow her to cross label. And so, sayang. So my next choice was Monique Wilson, because Monique Wilson was the understudy of Leah in Miss Saigon. And when I spoke to her and I sent her the melody, she liked it. She said, sure, when do we record? So I said, let's record Monday, Tuesday next week. Great, okay, I'll be ready. That weekend, Monique went to Tagaytay with some friends. She lost her voice. Sunday night, she called me apologetically saying that, I'm sorry, Tito Joe, I lost my voice. I'm sorry, I cannot sing. Oh no. In the meantime, my record producer, Belyatan, was already rushing. Joe, it's already September. We have to release that album. I don't know what opened up my mind and said, why don't you ask your daughter? She has a beautiful voice. And what a perfect combination. Father and daughter singing a Christmas song. So I remember going to her bedroom, and she was studying for her exams the next day. And I said, Liz, could you learn this song? It's a Christmas song that I wrote, and I want it to be a duet. Maybe you and I could sing it together. And she said, sure, Dad. When is the recording? Tomorrow. So I'm sorry, you have to learn the song overnight. Sure. Okay, Dad. So she learned the song, and the next day we walked into the studio and we recorded Christmas in Our Hearts. And as they say, the rest is history.
Let's sing Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
What a perfect combination. A Christmas song sung by a father and daughter. Remember, Christmas is family. Christmas is more meaningful when you share it with your children. And so that's the history of Christmas in Our Hearts. I'm very happy that the song has touched the lives of people young and old. I'll tell you a very interesting story about an experience singing that song. I was invited by Governor Dimapuro to perform in Mindanao in a concert at their huge gym. And looking out at the audience, it was a combination of Muslims and Christians. And they were asking for more. What they requested for? Christmas in Our Hearts. This was around May or June, middle of the year, and they requested for Christmas in Our Hearts. And this was a group composed of Muslims and Christians. Buti na lang, I had the -1. My technician had the -1. And so I sang Christmas in Our Hearts. And when it came to Lisa's part of the song, the whole gym sang with me. That was an unforgettable experience. That even to the Muslims, they were singing words like, this season may we never forget the love we have for Jesus. That was an unforgettable experience for me. And it may never happen again. When I do concerts abroad, whether in Canada or in the US or in Zurich, Switzerland, or in Vienna, Austria, and the Filipinos, of course, they're mostly Filipinos in the audience, many times they would request me to sing Christmas in Our Hearts. And it's not Christmas season, but I sing it because anyway, it brings back memories for them. It brings back memories of their Christmases with their families back home. So, wow, that's the long story about Christmas in Our Hearts.
Let's sing Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
Hello, this is Lim Chan. Like and subscribe to OG